How to start using Bitcoin. You've probably heard of Bitcoin wallets before, but what exactly are these? A wallet can be understood as a key that allows you to interact with the Bitcoin network. There are software wallets, installed as apps on a computer or mobile device, and hardware wallets, which are physical devices designed exclusively to securely store private keys. A Bitcoin wallet doesn't store the coins itself within its software or hardware. Instead, it manages the cryptographic keys needed to access them on the Bitcoin network. Your Bitcoin is recorded on the blockchain and can be accessed with any wallet as long as you have your keys. When you create a Bitcoin wallet, your private key is generated first, and from this, a public key is derived, which is then used to generate your Bitcoin addresses. The private key is simply a 256-bit random number. This number can range from 0 to approximately 10 raised to the power of 77. To grasp the magnitude of the possible private keys that can be generated, consider that the number of atoms on Earth is approximately 10 raised to the power of 50. In the known universe, the number of atoms is estimated to be around 10 raised to the power of 80. In other words, for someone to randomly guess your Bitcoin key, they would need to identify the exact atom you're thinking of across multiple galaxies. Your Bitcoin private key is protected by pure randomness and statistics. But how can we generate our private key? The simplest way to generate a key is by using the built-in key generator of any wallet. If you don't trust the randomness provided by hardware or software, you can generate your private key using conventional random elements. You could roll dice, record the results, and convert them to binary to get a 256-bit number. You can also flip coins, recording heads as 0 and tails as 1. Using such methods still requires a computer or script to convert the key into a manageable format like bp39. To make private key management easier, the key is divided into 11-bit blocks, and each block is assigned a word. Instead of an incomprehensible binary or hexadecimal string, common words from a standard list of 2,048 words are used. Once you have your private key, your public key is mathematically derived from it using elliptic curve cryptography. With current technology, deriving the private key from the public key is computationally unfeasible. The public key is used to derive Bitcoin addresses. Depending on the type of wallet you use, Bitcoin addresses may start with 1, 3, BC1, or BC1P. When you generate a private key for Bitcoin, the keys are under your control, giving you access to those Bitcoin. This is known as self-custody. Alternatively, the keys can be managed for you, as is the case with exchanges like Kraken or Binance. In exchanges, the keys are held by the company itself, and users are provided with an accounting record of how much Bitcoin they own. When you create an account on an exchange, you have to provide identification and personal information, whereas when you generate a private key, no one else needs to know anything. You don't have your own public or private keys. Instead, you have a username and a password. If your Bitcoin is stored on an exchange or in an ETF, you are exposed to certain risks, such as a hack, which could result in losing your deposited funds. Another risk is the possibility of the exchange going bankrupt, as has happened multiple times in history. There is also the risk of oversight and confiscation by institutions that may monitor and censor transactions as they see fit. If you decide to self-custody your Bitcoin, the most common starting point is writing down your keys on paper or in a notebook and storing them in a safe place. Another option is memorizing your 12 or 24-word seed phrase, although you run the risk of losing access to your Bitcoin if you forget it. Storing the seed phrase in digital form, or even in the cloud, is generally not recommended because it is continuously exposed to the internet and potential hacks. A better option is to store seed phrases in a durable physical format that isn't connected to the internet, such as engraved steel. This is a common method used by Bitcoin enthusiasts. There are many solutions for engraving on steel, such as plates or hexagonal bars that can be stamped with punches or plates with pre-engraved letters, but there are even more affordable options. For example, you can use steel washers to engrave your seed phrase. For just a few dollars at a hardware store, you can get enough washers to create multiple wallets. If you make a mistake engraving a word, you can simply discard the faulty washer and use another. This minimizes costs for errors compared to replacing an entire plate. Plates or bars are generally designed solely for storing seed phrases. But with washers, you can engrave anything, such as additional passwords or even codes instead of words. Moreover, they are divisible, allowing you to split your seed phrase and store each fragment in different locations. Also, if you want to eliminate a wallet, metal plates or bars are difficult to dispose of securely, as they require significant time and effort to destroy. Washers offer a more practical option, as they can be gradually discarded in different locations, making them harder to collect. Once the washers are engraved, the 12 or 24 words can be stacked onto a bolt, forming a very compact arrangement. They can be hidden in places like a vase or a flower pot, whereas other solutions like plates or hexagonal bars tend to be bulkier and harder to conceal. Washers are also more discreet for travel, as they can be divided and transported in different bags or suitcases, or even mixed with coins in a wallet. Steel backups are highly resistant to fire. They can withstand extreme temperatures of up to 1,500 degrees Celsius or 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit. Stainless steel is also highly water resistant and doesn't easily corrode, even in humid or salty environments. It's always advisable to store your backups in different geographically separated locations and to add extra layers of security, such as a passphrase or a multi-sig setup, which we'll cover in future videos. Now that we know what Bitcoin wallets are and the available custody options, let's explore how we can obtain some. The simplest way is to buy Bitcoin directly from a friend, family member, partner, or acquaintance. It's a very flexible exchange that doesn't require registering on any platform and avoids intermediaries. Alternatively, you can use platforms like HODL HODL or RoboSats, which facilitate secure transactions between users. Another way to acquire Bitcoin is by mining it. Mining is only profitable if you have access to very cheap electricity. You can also purchase a Bitcoin on exchanges using cards or bank transfers. These platforms are convenient and often offer good rates, but may involve potential oversight by institutions. Services like Strike, Relay, or Pocket offer less invasive ways to purchase Bitcoin through bank transfers. Bitcoin gives you the key to taking control of your financial destiny. Will you dare to be the guardian of your freedom and self-custody your Bitcoin? Or will you trust others to manage it for you? The choice is yours, but the time is now. Are you ready to take the leap and be part of this revolution?